This is Colin O'Keefe here for LXBN TV and our coverage of the LMA's P3 conference. And I am joined now from the event itself by Tim Corcoran. He is president of the Legal Marketing Association. Tim, you spoke yesterday on fully integrating P3 discipline into a law firm's business strategy and highlighted a bit of a business case in the process. Can you share with us some of the biggest things law firms should really focus on when it comes to integrating these P3 disciplines?
Sure, Colin. Thanks for having me. I think the greatest challenge we have is while we have pockets of fantastic innovation taking place in law firms today, pricing directors thinking about how we can create the right price before we win the work. We have folks that are focused on project management and process improvement to deliver the work. But it's astonishing how often those two are not connected. We spend all this time coming up with the right budget, and then we go deliver the work the same old way, and we don't adhere to the budget, and either the client says, I don't want to pay any more, or we end up taking a hit to our profits because we can't bill more, but we spent more time working than we needed to. So the goal of our session was, let's pull it together. Let's talk about how we integrate all of this. The approach we took, I thought, was a little bit unique, both because it's it's a conference where oftentimes you see a few folks on a panel and do a good job, but I wanted to shake it up a little bit. So we did a little play in 3 parts. The first was, I'll call it exaggerated, but for some it was reality. But what would it look like in a law firm of yesteryear where we wanted to make an investment decision? And the case we used was bring on a lateral partner who has a healthy book of business. And we walked through what that might look like, how they might assess their options, analyze the financial performance, and go about making the decision. And the punchline is not very much analysis whatsoever. We shifted to the complete other end of the spectrum then, and we looked at what a corporation goes through when investing money in some new project, building a new plant, launching a new product, and so on. And we used the case study of a software company looking at a new product, and we went through the rigorous steps that they go through. Market research, focus groups, identify the right feature function sets, analyze the marketplace to see what the customer is willing to pay, as well as what the competitors are charging, look at their own internal operations, what would it cost us to produce this profitably, tie that all together, look at our different resources for how we market it, how we develop it, how we support it, and then put together a business case. But we're still not done. We then have to compare that business case to all of the other things we could be doing with our investments. And we have to make sure that the right business case rises to the top. And we're still not done. We then have to compete with every other function and division in our company to say that our business case wins out. And the process is competitive, but it's rigorous. We then said, you know what, that might be a little bit much for most law firms to adopt and embrace. So Act 3 was, here's how we could start to weave this into a law firm. And so we went through comparing bringing on a lateral partner with a book of business with investing in a practice group that on paper and in the current year may not be doing well. But as we look at the long-run view, as we analyze internal and external data, we look at customer demand and we look at propensity to buy and we look at what the competitors are doing, it turns out the second option was a far more lucrative option for us than what appeared on paper to be a better option up front. And the idea was connecting your pricing, your process improvement, your project management, your competitive intelligence, your business development, your client feedback, and so on, all together makes a much more informed decision.
Absolutely. You want those things to be as integrated as possible. You want to make sure that everything's really working well together. You're not doing a bunch of one-offs. Once again, that was Tim Corcoran. He is president of the Legal Marketing Association. For more of our coverage of the P3 conference, be sure to visit us at lxbn.com/P3 conference. Thanks for joining me today, Tim.
Thank you.